Hello, Pastor Greg here today. I'd like to ask you a question. Can Christians in America remain politically neutral? The issues in our nation today have so divided our country, there seems to be absolutely no middle ground. Consider some of these topics: the sanctity of life and the right to life, freedom of speech and freedom of religion, the right to bear arms, erotic liberties, which some would call perversions, the right to marriage according to whatever people want to describe it, but the sanctity of marriage as between a husband and a wife over against same-sex marriage. You see, these issues are polarizing to say the least. We all know that. But the reason is they all strike at the heart of every person's most fundamental beliefs about the fundamental questions of existence, the fundamental questions of what it means to be an American citizen and what it means to be moral in our world today. In the midst of the national conversation about these topics, there is a growing unwillingness to accept any other point of view than whatever view we hold. Both sides want their beliefs to prevail, but they want their beliefs to become the law of the land, and they want their beliefs to suppress the other side. In an effort to accomplish this, the biblical point of view is the first to be oppressed by those who seek to silence it altogether. And when that fails, those who seek to silence it will do their best to get the issues moved to what I would call a safe space where Christians, especially pastors, might fear to tread. They call this safe space by a different name. They use the word politics. In doing that, they aim to tell pastors and preachers, and any Christian they can, that the gospel is not supposed to be political. They say that each of these very moral fundamental issues are only politics. Well, I would say this in response, just to start, is that Christianity and pastors not only have a lot to say about the gospel, but the gospel says a lot about life and living. So while these people who want to silence Christianity, they also seek to silence any opposition. They try to relegate the Bible to what is now referred to as hate speech. And that's the other arm of the left side of politics that works to silence the right completely. If they can get pastors to be silent, and they can get the Bible considered off limits in public discourse because they call it hate speech, then those people who remain will have no way of understanding these issues other than the views of the left. But can and should Christian pastors remain politically neutral and refrain from speaking on these topics while they only speak about spiritual matters? Simply put, they can't do it if the truth matters, and spiritually speaking, these issues are deeply affected by truth. Likewise, truth brings moral clarity to most issues. Additionally, spiritual matters involve man's relationship with his Creator, his Judge, and hopefully his Savior. The truth about such spiritual matters is what brings man face to face to his Creator and Judge in search of a salvation that can only be found through God, salvation from sin and unrighteousness. Now, we find that rights are not granted to a people by a government, but by God. We find that life is sacred to God, and taking of life is an abomination to Him. We find that praying for our leaders is a godly act. We find that Jesus Christ is truly the only way to God. We find that morality is not defined by humanity, but by the righteous and holy God of heaven, and that He has imprinted every person's heart with it. We call it conscience. All of these things and many more issues are spiritually discerned, and the very God-given realm of Christians is to share this truth with the world in which they live, both by their example and by their discourse. Now, we also find that governments that follow God's plan for human life will flourish and be blessed by God, while those who reject the Lord's ways will fail in the end, and they always have. Therefore, these divisive, polarizing, fundamental issues lie squarely in the middle of the realm of the pastor of the church and the lives of Christians to talk about, preach about, and to encourage their followers and audiences to live by. To those who don't wish to live by God's plan, well, this automatically puts the church, the Bible, and God at odds with themselves, and they've made the church, the Bible, and God their enemy. There is no middle ground. It's no wonder they work so hard to silence the church from public discourse. They don't want people to see the truth. They want people to follow the lies they perpetuate. One final thought. Every law passed is an expression of morality because it defines for a people what is right and accepted in the land. Right and wrong are spiritually discerned, and this is the realm of preachers, and preachers do well to expose the lies and the liars who promote the lies by using their pulpits, wherever those might be, physical pulpits, print, video, or even open air preaching. We have a right given by God to express the truth. We may pay a consequence for doing so, but that's only a consequence that comes from people who want to suppress the truth in unrighteousness. So yes, Christians, preachers, and all who seek to follow God have a duty to get involved in the issues that we face in America today. God bless and have a great day.